Okay, so welcome again to another live streaming video, which we are going to use it to answer your questions. So basically you need to be ready with your questions, and you ask the questions and I will provide the answer, hopefully, if your question is within this course. So far I see no one there. I'll wait for a few minutes to see more of you coming, and then we will start going through the questions. I have 3 questions here. First one is create a program to ask user to enter 2 numbers, add all the integer between the 2 numbers, and display the total. That's a simple question, which I think you should be able to do. But I'll give you a hint on that. How can I study for the exam? You study for the exam, you have 3 options. You can do one of the 3 options, or you do the 2 or all of the options. Is up to you. So first we have there is a PDF document which has everything there. There are 2, in fact. One is for unit 1 and one for unit 2. From unit 1 you need to study the for loops, if statement, and functions. From unit 2 you study all the things until today. That's what already been covered in the course, and this way you get ready for the exam. So you study that document, but you need to make sure that you do the practical. If you just read it, you will not understand for sure, and you have been doing practice in the course, hopefully. So do now the practice and do the same example. Think how you change that example, look at the exercises, and this way you will learn. Reading only will not help you. Programming is building logic, so it has to train your mind and get you to do things in certain orders and certain steps, and using logical thinking. So if you don't do that, then it will become difficult for you to learn. So the PDF, that's one. The second one is the videos. We have created so many videos for you that help you with learning through this course. And these videos are short. Yes, there are some long, which we did like a revision. You can do that, or look at the shorter one. There's one for introduction about data analytics, one for reading from Excel, one reading from HTML, one changing the column, one sorting data. All these different skills that you need to learn, there are videos there. And you watch the videos and do the practical again. Watching the video alone is not good enough. So best thing, you watch the video, you write the notes down, and then you stop the video and do the exercise. You have an issue, go back to the video and see where are the issues. You finish that exercise, start now changing it a little bit. Or it reading 2 numbers, let's make it read 3 numbers. It working on column, say, X, let me read column Y. Let me read 2 columns. You start changing it and practicing, and this way you gain the skills needed for programming. That's one. The other one that you think you can do, there are PowerPoints. All the 3 documents, we tried our best to make them sync. That means they do the same thing. They're not doing something different. So if you go through the PowerPoint, read it carefully, and do the exercises, and make changes on the exercises your own, and experiment with what will come out from that, This way you get ready, and that's how you study for any course. You do reading the concept, which usually written in a text, doing the practical, and doing something about the knowledge you learn by changing the practical to something different. So I'll consider this question answered. Previous question, I'll come back to it. How can we find, I don't know what you mean by that. Python, you mean does Python produce business and revenue, or if you have sales and actual price and cost, and then you need to do some calculation and find what the revenue. Both I can cover them quickly. I think first one is more you need to read and search the internet and find how Python have been used in the industry and what Python add. Python is a tool, but you need to have a business to make it bring you any revenue. But if you want to do the calculations, we'll do that one later. Okay, so I'm not seeing people on YouTube. Maybe you are there, but I'm maybe using the wrong YouTube. I don't know why I can't see nobody, but I can see. I see 5 people now. That's good. For me, usually, if one person listening and benefiting is good enough, and the good thing, this will be recorded and people can come back to it. Last time, I think we had around 390 so far who watched that last recording. And on the day itself, we had, I think, around 85 people who did on the live streaming, who come and go. They don't stay all the time, but that's good. I think, hope you're finding it useful. Now, here's the questions. The 2 numbers will come back. Hello, good evening. Good evening, thank you. Just looking for any other questions that maybe I need to answer before I go back. Can you make for us a review for important points in Unit 2, please? Thank you. Okay, we'll do that. I think the important things, what did we study in Unit 2? And let me just take you, maybe some of you maybe do not know that document which I keep talking about, which is the PDF document. So if you go into your course, and then you will find Unit 2. Here is Unit 2, and go to any one, Week 8, for example. There is a document here which has everything. So we can keep this document open so we can go through the whole things we've been doing. So this one first talk about the data analytics and the different steps in data analytics, which there is a video explaining it. I'm going through that one, and video you can find it on YouTube. So starting from gathering data, first creating your objectives, then gathering data, then cleaning your data, then doing some analysis, and then to modeling the data, and then visualizing and reporting. And each one there are some explanation here, and there is a video explaining that one. You need to do it. The first thing is accessing files, that you need to know how to access files, which using Pandas and using read_Excel. If the file is Excel, if it ends by .xlsx, that's Excel, and this is the way to read it. You come with the data, with a variable, then you store the data. We can say data equal PD. We have done one, and we can do more on that one. So you read, this is the file name with the extension, and here the sheet name. The file, Excel file can have more than one sheet. So that's one here. One thing you need to know, accessing file. Yeah. and there is explanation, and there is a video here. If you scan this one or click on it, it takes you to the video that explain how to do it. And then getting familiar with Azure, that's a basic thing. You know how to use Jupyter and Azure Notebook. That's good. Then getting familiar with Azure Notebook, still the same thing. Then here is an example of reading Excel file, and you scan this one or click on it, it takes you to the video that explain this one. There's a no, this is the data. This website gives you access to so many data, open data from key HDA in Dubai, which now so many companies in the government sectors in UAE, they make data available for people to do analysis. So the idea is to help people do business, help people improve certain things, and that's it. So that will take you to that one. But there is a video here giving on the example. So if you go there, I think somewhere the video. So this example here, maybe I should do one thing. Let's download this so you can make it on a big screen, and then you can see it. Now, going through this document will really prepare you for the exam or for anything else related to this course. So just I'll open it and keep it here so you can see it in a bigger scale. Sorry, this I opened it with using the wrong one. Just is fine. Let me go back here and say open preview. Open preview. Yeah, this will make it looks nicer and easier to follow. So back, this is the same document we have now. If you haven't seen this document, then there is an issue. You should have seen this document. And okay, so this is the example. Again, you can go to the example and watch it. There's a video on that one. If you come here, so we're reading data, and we will do a live one. You should be now familiar with that. So this just importing pandas as PD and then reading. So the example is there. I'm just taking you quickly through this document. Okay, so once you get there, you will start now understanding how the data frame in pandas work. There are columns and there are rows. Columns are names of your data heads, and the rows are the actual data. And here there and some explanation. There's talk here about skipping some rows. When you read Excel, maybe in that Excel there are some additional information on the top. You don't want it, so you can use skip rows equal here in the read Excel, then the file name, then the sheet name, then comma, skip rows equal, and you decide how many rows you want to skip. I'll give you an example of that as well. Okay, and then here the other one, display data in one or more column, and that does that. So these are the things you need to study. They are all clear in this document with examples. Each one has an example. Explain, and we made sure these examples are simple, clear, and there's some exercises based on the example. So for example, in the example you did total, we'll ask you somewhere to calculate, for example, average, which is the same thing. Slicing data or selecting data based on the condition, again, it's explained here. So this document is doing all, and it has a link to the videos when the videos are needed. Like this one here, there is a video here for sure. If you click, you will find me or Ali or someone there and explaining that one. Okay? Okay, let's. Very good. So now we know where to go to find this information. Okay, we'll do some practice and see how we can do that. But the document is there. And we'll do a review based on that document. Okay, which again, the video are already there, everything is there. Now ask me specific questions. Say, I did this one, did not work for me. Things that you're facing challenge with. But in terms of what needed, the document is very clear. The video are very clear. The PowerPoint are very clear. But what really you facing problem with? You want to do this exercise, it didn't work. This way I can help you directly instead of just saying what I will study. What you will study is, I think is clear. Okay, this question keep coming. I'll answer it. How I use function to calculate the average for user input unit. This is very good. I did example last time. I think was Sunday. Or, yeah, I think Sunday. I did an example of how to create a function that calculate the average of two numbers for unit 1, for sure. You can go back to that one, but if we have time today, I will repeat that one as well, which very simple example that you will find it easy to do. I'm not going to check this one as answer, so I can come back to it. Good. How I use loop for when the user to enter. Okay, I'll do one because there is a question related to this. I will answer this question. Okay, let's go back now and start answering question. I can see there are some good about for loop and if statement. Help using if statement as ascending and descending plus for loop. Okay, for loop, we'll do for loop today, and we will do sorting, ascending, descending, and that question about two numbers will be easy. Will be part of the for loop. Why always the data change from data to data one? Doesn't change always. I decided to change it, or anyone can decide to change it. Anything it, on its own doesn't change. But usually, if I have a data frame and I want to take part of that data, the part of that data I need to give it a new name. A new name. I decide what is that name. But because it is part of the whole data, it's not the whole data. I cannot call it data again because data is everything. This is part of that data. Maybe I can say student information, teacher information, course information, part of a whole of school information or university information. And this way I need to come with a new name for that data which is part of a larger data. Okay, let's go and start coding. Let's do the fun. I go to my Azure. Okay, I'm getting there. I am happy that I see there are a number of you there on this, but there seem to be some issue on my iPad. But leave the iPad on its own. If you asking questions on YouTube, I can see where can we where can we find the document? Maybe that's what you mean. Good, find, yeah, correct. You go to BB Learn. This is the course you are in, your course, yeah? You go to Unit 2. Unit 1, there it has this document. Unit 2, you click on it. You click on week 8 or any week of Unit 2. You see here on the left, there is weeks. Click on any one of it. For example, week 9. You will find here course material, and that's the document which I referred you to. And that's where you need to start. That document is very important, and we tried honestly to do something innovative. I haven't seen it in any book before. We're publishing it as a book where we included QR in it. So you click on it, takes you to the video. You click on it, takes you to the live code. There are cases where it takes you to the code directly. So this code will be on Jupyter Notebook. Like this example about what? Changing the index. If you click on this takes you to a video, I think. Yeah, that's the video on changing the index. So this is a different way of doing the book. Usually the book is just a static book, but this one, if you print it, you can scan it using your mobile, you get the video. So it becomes like a book and video together in a printed book. We'll see. We're going to print this. Hopefully we'll finish it sometime this year, and we'll get it published and printed. I hope we'll get you some copies of that. Okay, let's go to our library and start practicing. Practice is the key in programming. Okay, لا تقردنوا. Okay, thank you for that. That's good. I agree with you. It's difficult to do with me. Let's go and look at which one. We create a new one or we use existing one. Which one did we use last time? I will go to the case studies. Case studies is good. And we had one about the store last time. This is the store. Very good. We will work on the store. Teacher, can you give us answer for exam? I am lost. What do you mean answer for exam? You should not be lost. If you go back to what I said, maybe you came a little bit late. There is a document here, which our Unit 2 document. Okay? It has all the details. You open that document, you'll find examples in it, you'll find all the details you need to study. And it's designed in a way that each example is 1 page or 2 page in its own. See here, look, working with look. It's just 1 page, has example and some exercises. So you do the example, you do the exercises based on the example, and then you start doing your own thing. The other one, renaming column, is just 1 page of renaming column. You have an example, you do the example, and then calculating columns, same thing. So we made it this way, very simple to follow, and then you need to practice and do your own, study and reading. Okay, so that's there. I'm back here to Jupyter, and I can see there are 11 questions. Yeah, really good. Okay, now in our Jupyter one, what basically we have here, we are going to read the file. Here we have, I'll try to be slow, I know sometimes I go fast. There is a file called superstore.xlsx. This is the file which we have. Okay, and what we're doing here is we're reading that file. So first we need to import Pandas as PD, and sometimes we make a mistake in Pandas, and the common mistake I can see is spelling Pandas. Sometimes people put A here. There's no A. Yeah, that's the way Pandas is. Pandas is a nice animal, and that's how it's written. Then you decide here what do you want to call your data. Again, it is not set for you. You decide. I decided to call it store. Maybe I want to call it ST. There's no difference. If I call it ST now, from now and on, I use that. If I call it store, then I need to continue using store. Assume I spell it wrong. I said store like this. In programming, it has no issue with that. It will accept it because this is a variable I gave to my data. And that was in Unit 1 when we spoke about data types and variables, and that being done. So why I'm doing this and why I'm saying that, because I saw a question about why you call it data, why it always changed to data 1. It doesn't change. I decided to change it. So the variables is in your hand, but always use variable that gives a meaning. So here, if I call it store, I know this data about this variable about the data in the store. Okay, it becomes easy for me to refer to it. Basically, this is why I'm calling it store. And then you read pd read Excel, and then you will have the super store file, and you run it. Okay. Now once you get your data, as we said, one of the good practices is to display the head, yeah, and the head is the first 5 rows of your data. So you display head, basically will go into that data and try to find you the first 5 data. So you notice it starts by 0, 1, 2, like that. This column here, which does not have a title, see, this one has a title, this one has a title, everyone except this one, what we call it index. The default index starts by 0. So I can refer easily to that. Head also allows you to not only do 5. If I want to do, say, 10, I can put here 10 and then run it. It will give you the first 10. But by default, if there is no number here, it gives me 5. But if I put a number, I can decide how many I want it to display. That's one thing. So first thing you do head. Why you do head? You want to see the columns in your data. You need to see the top 5 rows in your data. Sometime when you do the head, you will find the columns are not clear because maybe there are extra information on top of your data. And we'll look at an example. I think last time we did that football league table, and it did have some extra information that we can get rid of it. If you have extra information, then you can use skip rows equal, and then you specify how many rows you want to skip. Okay, and that's one. The other thing you can have is sheet name. Sheet name. Now by default, it reads the first sheet on your Excel. Excel file can have many sheets. As you know Excel, I'm sure you know Excel, all of you. If you business, you know Excel. If you CIS, you know Excel. Excel, nobody doesn't know Excel. Sometimes you have multiple sheets and you need to read a specific sheet. Here you put the name of that sheet. Maybe that sheet 5. Or it has salary in that sheet. Or it has cells in that sheet. Whatever the name of that sheet. And this way you specify specific sheet you want to read. In this file we have here, we don't have that information, so we read as it is. Now going back to this document, did I keep it open there? No, I didn't keep it open. I just want to keep it open, so I want you to refer to it always, yeah? And let's start from the beginning. Maybe I will not be able to do all, but that's where it is. But going through this, you go slowly. You start from accessing files, and you have an example down here after explaining Jupyter and Azure. There is an example. Do this example. So this example talk about a data that you can download from the KHDA, and then you start working on it. I think this is the data. Is this the data? No, there's something wrong with this. Keep changing. Anyway, there is a data you download. If you go KHDA here, you can download any data you have here. I'll give you an example of data, very interesting data that you need to know. For example, let me search here, UAE open data. I'll find you a nice data that there's something called bayanat.ae as well. Bayanat.ae. Bayanat.ae is a initiative that to make data available for people to do research and things like that. I think there is one on transportation, on road. There's so many data. You can just grab the one you like. For example, here, causer of traffic accident by type of accident. Yeah, this one about traffic accident. Let's use this one. So let's click here on the, you notice what I did? I just clicked on that X here. By the way, you have a project to do, and you need to get familiar how to find data. And bayanat.ae is the place you need to go. There is bayanat.ae, there is data.gov, which the American data, and there is European data. All, I think now, countries, they have data. And you can use to find data. So we'll look at this Excel. I clicked on it, then click on this one. I can download this file now. So it will come an Excel file on my computer. Just downloading it. Yeah, here is the file, which has, let's get it downloaded. So if I open this file, and we will do the steps in this unit here based on that file. So you can do it on any file. Basically, the steps here, you can do it on any file. Find you a file and practice on it. So this is one file which interesting because it's important for you to know this, because you need to be careful on the road. So this file basically includes this information about the year 2001 until year 2002. Yeah, okay. So selected a small one, but there are more. So this one has the year, has the emirate in Arabic and English, has the type of accident, and a number of accidents on that year, in that emirate. And that. So that's a small one, but you can use this one for your exploration. Okay, so we have the file. I downloaded the file, and now I have it on my computer. And here is the file. I can maybe rename it to something smaller. I call it accident. Okay. Where it's gone now? Here. Okay. I'm just renaming it this way. So I want to upload it now. I'll go back to my leave the store on, because you have done many times this store. Let's do something more related to what we have. So let's create one and say car accident, and that's it, and we will use 3.65. so that's the notebook. So we're creating a new notebook now, and that notebook is now somewhere here. So I'll click on that one. It will open, and let's upload that file which we created, and then start analyzing that file. So how I upload it? I go to data, upload, and then go and find it. I think it should come here. Where did I put it? Accident. That should be the last, maybe the order of this file. Rename, modify. Oh, I put it in desktop. Yeah, remember I copied that file to the desktop. So where is it, Shabab? Accident. I just, where I put that file? Did I copy it to desktop? Did you follow me while I'm doing that? Okay, no issue. We'll find it here. It is somewhere here. Let me stop this. Let's do here. Open it again. So many things on this can be. Here is it. Yeah. So let's drag it to the desktop. Now fine. Go back to data. Upload. And then in the desktop, here is it. Then click open. Thank you to all who are subscribing or doing something here. Fine. Okay. Remember I said you need to go to the library and select library. Otherwise your file will go somewhere, which I don't know where. Now I need to answer the people who spoke about the for loop, but I will answer it using a different creative way. Now this file has been uploaded. How I know that? I refresh my data and I should see that file. Here is it. Yeah, whatever the spelling I used. If I use the wrong spelling, I have to follow. This is the file name basically. So you go back here and let's do now import pandas as PD. Okay, and then we'll say cars, let's call it cars, for example, PD. See, I decided to call it cars. It's not, nobody is saying to me, I'll do the for loop in one. Read underscore Excel. Okay, and then what's the file name? This is the file name. Now run perfect. Now if I come here and say cars dot head in programming Shabab, the naming of the variable is in your control. See, came the same one. Yeah, the data we have there. Now what we can do also, we can find how many data in that file. So I can see cars dot shape. Remember shape? Sorry, what's wrong? Keyboard shape. Remember this one? Shape gives you how many rows you have. So I have 140 lines or rows of data, and there are 6 columns. Yeah, if you add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there are 6 columns. So this basically now read for me the data based on that. So if I want to have only, assume now accidents that happen in Abu Dhabi only in Abu Dhabi. Accident happen only in Abu Dhabi. What are how many of these accidents are only in Abu Dhabi? I can do that. Okay. If I want to know what are the Emirates in this list, what are the unique Emirates? We know we have 140 lines, but how many Emirates do we have in the UAE? For sure it's not 140, yeah? So how, that's something called unique values. So if I say cars and then take the Emirate in English, okay, and add here to it unique value, and then will give me exactly what are the Emirates. Yeah, so the 7 Emirates comes there. So this unique gives you the unique value in the data. Although the data is long 140, but the unique Emirates are 7, and you get 7. So this is the value of unique. Now I think you understand unique better than before, because you understand there are 7 Emirates in the United Arab Emirates. Now, what are the unique type of accident? Now I want you to do that. Find me the unique type of accident. What should I do? I managed to find the unique type of Emirates using this. How I can find the unique type of accident? Same thing, yeah? Same thing exactly. This is what I meant by you should try. If the example is talking about column X, try to do the same thing on column Y. Yeah? not because the example talking about column X, I do only column X. Okay, so let's do this again, and then cars. How I do it? Again, cars, and then I need the column name I'm focusing on. Here I was focusing on Emirates in English, and here I'm focusing on accident, and then I use dot unique. Okay, and now you will find these are the type of accidents that are there. These are. Now if you want the Arabic one, you like it more than the English, just take that title and put it here, and then you will find the unique in Arabic. Same thing. صدم جانبي، صدم عمودي، صدم غير متحرك وإلى ذلك. Okay, this is the way that's it done. Now let me combine this with the for loop, and then I'll do the for loop in the way you did. For loop you can use also inside Pandas. How you do it? Now if I want to display those 7 Emirates I know in using for loop, I can come here and say Emirate, a variable, store that in a variable. See what I basically did here. I said instead of displaying the Emirates on the screen, store it in a variable called Emirate. I'll call it Emirates, sorry. Okay, we'll call it Emirates. So store it in a variable called Emirate. Yeah? You are not computer. I know you're not a computer. But you are human, which is better than the computer. Many times I see a question there, we are not computers. I agree, but you are human. And you are more than computer. Computer does just a small part of what you do as a human. And again, it's not that many. Let's go back and look at it. It's not that many. You have import, this one you've been doing it for a long time. Reading data from an Excel, this line is very clear. Read underscore Excel, and then your file name. Then displaying the head is obvious, displaying the head, okay? Now, finding unique data of a column, you just need the column name, and then you add the word dot unique, and this finds you the unique data. What I did, I stored it in a variable now. Then I can use for loop if you want. I can say for Emirate in Emirates. See the way the for loop works. In the past, let's do our old one. We used to say for I in range 1 to 10. Yeah, that's what we used to do. Okay, this basically does create a variable called I, and I will change. If I say print here I, what you will get? You will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until 9. So we said for I is our variable that changed from 1 to 10 minus 1, which 9, yeah? Now, for I in range 1 to 10, print I, okay? So first time when the loop goes, first time I is 1, then display 1. Then I is 2, display 2. I is 3, display 3, and so on, okay? I'm not going to continue until 10. Now, what can we do? There's a good questions we have here, which I assume that everyone is interested in that questions, which I will answer it, so I don't, this is the question. Create a program to ask user to enter 2 numbers, add all the integer between the 2 numbers, and display the total. Okay? So he asking about entering 2 numbers, and then adding all the numbers between the 2 numbers. Let's do it in 2 steps, yeah? Always in programming, Start by a very simple step. Do the basic one first and then build on it. Okay? So let's do the basic one and we test it. So we need two numbers. We'll say N1. Who told me call it N1? I decided to call it N1. Okay? So N1 input, enter the first number. Okay? Let me say that. Okay. Now N1 comes as what now here? Is it a number or is it a text? The user will enter a number, but the computer will use it as a text. So I need to change it to a number. The way I change it, I go say N1 equal int, the one that will change it to a number, int N1. So this is the first number being entered. Okay? Let's now repeat the same thing for the second number. I copy this and paste this and say second. Okay, and I'll call this one N2. I call this one N2, and I call this one N2. Yeah. Okay. We'll come back to the table we have. Now this is the number. I enter 10 and then enter 11. Nothing happened. So basically, I'm just making sure what I did is okay. So these are the two steps: entering the first number, and this is entering the second number. Is this clear? Yes, I can hear you. It's clear. Yeah, good. So N1 and N2. Now we need a loop, for loop, based on the question. Create a program to ask user to enter two numbers, add all the integer between the two numbers. Now, let's take this example. If I enter 1 and 5, what are the numbers between 1 and 5? The integer numbers. Okay, correct? So it is 2, 3, 4. If I want to say between. But if I am including 1, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Yeah? But here, because it's saying in the add all numbers between the two numbers. So between it will be 2, 3, 4, and that's it. These are the between. Yeah? So let's go back here. So the user entered two numbers. Now I need a for loop. So I can say for, okay, I in range. This is the structure of my I. Now the answer is here inside this one. What should I have here between the two numbers? What are the two numbers? N1 and N2. Okay? Now N1 1 will be included. So if I say between, if I enter 1 and 5, this way 1 is included, but I don't want it to be included, so I add to it 1. This way I start by 2. Let me show you how. Now we'll see. Now we need to add the numbers together. Yeah. So to add these numbers, you need a way to calculate the sum, and I'll show you something here and then we will fix it. We'll call it S. S equal RS plus I. Okay? And now at the end, we need to put S as 0 at the beginning. Okay? I think you understand, but I will explain it. So print S. Now let me go back and explain it slowly. These 2 or 4 lines are very clear to you. Okay? Now here, because I want to calculate the sum, always just take it like that. Anytime you want to calculate the sum, start the sum by 0. If you want to calculate the total anytime, start the total by 0. This way, you ensure it always reset the total to 0 and then do the calculation. That's one thing. Then the second one, I have a for loop that starts from N1 plus 1 to N2. We know always the last number is not included. So in the example that I did for I equal 1 to 10, it displayed 1 to 9 and did not display 10. So the last number which we have here will not be included in the display. But the first number will be included. And I want to avoid the first number, so I added 1. Yeah? And then here what I'm doing basically, saying S, which was 0, add to it the first number. Okay? And then we do the loop and add to it the second number. Do the loop, add to it the third number, and continue like that. Now, another thing you need to remember, always when you calculate the total, use this way. If you want to call it total, you can call it total equal total plus whatever you want to add. Here we called it S. Doesn't make difference. I can now change it and call it total if I want to say. Yeah, say total. Maybe you like total more than S. Total, okay? Total. And this, sorry, I spell it wrong here. Total, but that's good if I spell it wrong, because you know will be a mistake. Okay, anyway, so now total, this is the way to calculate total. It's just always like that. The only thing will change is instead of I will be something else. You calculate salary, total equal total plus salary. You calculate whatever thing, total equal total plus that whatever thing. And that's always the total like that. It's always like that. Now, if I run this code, and let's give it a run, and say I'll start by 1 and 5. I'm getting 9. Why I'm getting 9? Because I'm using 2 plus 3 plus 4. These are the numbers between. Now how I can know that? I can add a print here inside the loop and say print I. Now this will become better now. If I say 1 and 5, you will see now what's happening. It displays 2, 3, 4, and then the total. Maybe this total I want it to look better, so I can add something before. Say print and add a line like this, a separator, so I can say now 1 and 5. You see? So it starts by 3, then 4, then 2, 3, 4, and then this is the total of, yeah? So that's how it is. Okay? So that's how it works, Shabab. It's very simple. Was it clear? Okay. So basically, that's the answer for that questions which you are asked. But I hope from that one you learn number of things. One, the for loop structures this way. I end range, and then you have a start number and end number. Okay? And then the total, this is the way it calculated. Total equal total plus. But you notice one thing. These two lines are outside the for loop because they are indented to the left. It's to the left. Okay? So now you understand how it works. The for loop. You can start now using it. You change something. Now you notice now I'm doing it this way. Think of something different. Yeah, maybe you want to add the multiplication of the two numbers, or maybe you need to skip one number. Do something different, and you can get it. I understand, Shabab, ladies and gentlemen, that some of you are not from IT or engineering. That's fine. But this is a simple logic that you will use in your life, and you will find it. Trust me. I'm older than you. I have seen students going through the whole cycle from beginning to the end. You will find it in the future very important for you. It gives you an advantage in your employment, in your life, in other things, and you will see that, inshallah. Okay, let's go back now. So I answered that questions. Very good. Let me see how I use function to calculate the average of two numbers. I did this one last time, but let me do it quickly. Repeating, they say تكرار يعلم الشطار. For I think it's right. تكرار يعلم الشطار. Only those people who want to improve, they will repeat things and repeat it and change it and repeat it. The lazy people will not do that. They will say, oh, they will even sometimes not do it even once. So التكرار يعلم الشطار. That's important. Okay, so let's do what, listen to me, don't keep chatting on something not related to this shabab. Leave who will have exam tomorrow, and just be with me and ask me questions. Please do that, so you can use your time instead of doing something else. So what was that questions, which I lost track of it? Yeah, the function, okay. Function is easy. How you create a function? Use def, D-E-F. DEF is the way you create function. What do you want to call the function? You decide what to call it. Okay? If I call it cal average, for example, this is what I called it, but you can call it something different. Yeah? And then say A and B, these are two numbers, and this one just two numbers. Then I can say return the average. What is the average? Is the total of the two numbers, which A plus B divided by 2. Yeah, but let me do it in 2 steps so it becomes easier for you. So AFG here equal A plus B, let's say total first, so you don't get confused. Hopefully total equal A plus B, and then average equal total divided by 2. Yeah, and then return AVG, and that's how it is. So this is a function we created. So the function we created, we called it call average. That's what we call it. And receiving A and B, you can call one N1 and N2, call it first number, second number, call it whatever you want, A and B. You decide what they are. But just make sure the file cannot, the variable cannot have a name, space. So I cannot say number 1. This is wrong. But if I say number 1 like this, this is okay. Yeah, and that again was in unit 1. So A and B, and that's it. So the function is ready now. Let's call it. So how I call it, how I call function and use it, just use the name. Copy this one and paste it here, and then send this number, say 10 and 15. Okay, I'm getting the 12.5, which if you add the 2, 25 divided by 2, you will get 12.5. So this function has number of things. One, we have def, then we have the name of the function. Again, the name of the function cannot have space. If I have a space here, it will not work. There is no space in it. Yeah, and then the variables, whatever you call them with a comma, you have colon here that sometimes you miss it. If you miss it, you will get an error. Good. I like function of maximum. We'll do that. So total equal A plus B. We know that. We added the two numbers together. And then average, we divide the total by 2. And then we return the average. Return it is the one that will display this result for you. So if you call it now, you will get that. If I call it, change the number to this and run it again, run this one. See, I don't need to run the first. I run it just once. And now I can call it as much as I want. And send any data and it will do the calculation. So just create it once and call it multiple times. We know the average of 1 and 5 is 3. So that's the function. There was a question about the maximum, yeah? Okay. Maximum, let's do one on the maximum. Functions are very good. Okay, let me delete this line and let's jump down here. Let's do one on the maximum. Say def, okay, maximum, okay, A and B. This is good one. Okay, but we'll do something better than A and B. We'll do for a large list. Yeah, I will do something that you will love. Okay. Now, how we find which one is the maximum? You have two numbers, A and B. How you find which one is the maximum? Basically, you want to check if one is more than the other. If A more than B, then A is the maximum because you have only two numbers. Otherwise, B is the maximum, yeah? Isn't it? So if can say, it's not exactly like that, but say if A more than B, okay, good, we can say return A, so, yeah, because A is the maximum now, okay? Now, else if A equal B, what are the options you have if you have two numbers? Either they are, or the first one is greater than the second, or they are equal, or the second one is greater than the first one. Okay? So these are the three options. So then return. Now if they are equal, which one is the maximum? There's no maximum, yeah? So we return any one of them. Yeah, we return A, for example, or return B, the same thing. Now the last one is else, and I will explain this, Shabab and ladies. Return, I promised my wife that I will do this for only 1 hour. Then we'll see. Okay, so that's where it is. Now, if and let's look at this if statement, yeah? If A is more than B, then the maximum is A. Clear? If they are equal, any one of them is the maximum, yeah? They are equal, okay? If nothing, not the first one, not the second one, then the answer is B is more than A. I don't need to say if B is more than A because this is the last option. So I don't need to do that. So that's where it is now. Is something, okay, very good. This is good. Notice here, you need one equal is not okay. You need two equal. So you need equal. Now let's test it and I'll go and explain it again if it's not clear. So how I can call it? I put the maximum here and now when you call you send values. So 5 and 3. Okay? We're getting 5 because 5 is the maximum. Now if I say 10 and 20, I'm getting 20 the maximum. Correct. If I say 10 and 10, any one of them. So what's happening now? Let's start by the first one, 1510. When I call it 1510, what it does, it goes from here to the function. So A will be 15, B will be 10, then it will go to this line. is F like is, yeah? Is A more than B? If A more than B, the answer yes. 15 is more than 10. So what it will do? It will return 15. And then it will ignore everything here. And goes, that's it, okay? But if I send 10 and 15, this is the case, okay? Now, A is 10, B is 15, okay? Now, if 10 more than 15, no, 10 is not more than 15. Then it will go here, okay? It will not do this one, because this one is only if the answer is yes. Now, it will go to else F and apply another condition. Is 10 equal to 15? No, 10 is not equal to 15, yeah? Then it will ignore this line and jump to else. There's no other options. Else is the last option. Then it will just return the value of B, because in this case B is the higher value. So in this case you get again 15, but it's coming from where? Coming from this line. Now if I put 10 and 10, this one I want you to understand, it will go there, A10, B10. If 10 equal more than 10, no, then it will ignore this return and go to the next else F. 10, if 10 equal 10, yes, then it will return the value of A and ignore the remaining and stop the program. Okay? So is it clear, the maximum? Yeah, if you want the user to enter the data, then you can basically do this here. You say A equal input, enter A space, and then you do the other line A equal int if you want all integer A, and then the same thing now. You come here and put this one and become B, this become B, this become, I'm calling it B, but it can be anything. Maybe better not to call it A and B. I'll call it N1 into Y, because you will get confused if it is A and B. So let me just call it N1 here and N2 here. But if I use A and B, it's still correct. There is nothing wrong in that one. But I'm doing it for a reason like that. So now, the user enter A, the user enter N1, N2, and then here what will change in this one? Tell me, Shabab, what will change? Yes, صح كلامك. You have to change كلامك. I know. N1 and N2. صح? Okay. Now, if I run this, now the difference, it will ask me for the values. I can say 55, 70, that's it. For two numbers, it's very easy. But what if I have more numbers? And that's what I want you now to know. I am enjoying this, Shabab. Let's go and look at this data. Let me do one thing. Let me grab all this data here in this column. You know, the number of accidents. We add them all together, and then we will use for loop to find the maximum in this one. But in Pandas, it's very easy to find it. I'll show you how Pandas is great. No, it's not al-fadi. Believe me, it's not al-fadi, Shabab. Allah yahfadkum. Let me show you how faster I can do using Pandas, and how much time it will take to do loop and things like that. So let me go back here, and I want to get the data in this column. You see, in Pandas, if I want to do the total of this row, it's just one line. See here how many lines I'm doing to find so many lines and complicated F, X, Y, Z, Let me show you simple one. What did we call our data? We call it cars. Yeah, those who came late, you need to cars, and then this is the column. So this column, and I can say sum. Okay, so easily just one line, it gave me the sum of that column that has 140 lines. If I need the average, something called mean, okay, in one line it gave me the average. Just I don't need to do the for loop or anything. It did it just for me using one line. And that's the advantage of Pandas on data analytics. In just one line you can do something will take you so many lines. See how many lines here I'm doing? This is just one line. Find for me the average of 140 lines of data just using one line. Even if it is billion of data, it's just one line, and it will do that. This is the power of Pandas and data analytics. But if I want to do it the old way, if you want, I can show you that how to do it the old way, which again using for loop, using if statement here. Where is that if statement we did? Yeah, this one, using for loop. Basically what we need to grab this column. Here is it. If I want to do that, let me add another line and say cars accident. This is the one, yeah. And if you just do like that, you will get all these columns coming. Okay, let me call this one N accident. Okay, whatever. N accident, and store it there. It's not complicated. NA, we call it NAC. Okay, so this is the number of accidents, and I just stored it in a variable like that. Now if I use for loop, for, and see how this is how we do the for loop. For NAC, and then I say print N. So this is the same thing. See, it's doing all that. Okay, now if I want to find the highest value, it's a long, I'll do around 5 lines or 6 lines of code. And because I want to compare one by one, so I can just show you, do the minimum. I don't want to just get you to get confused, but what's important in Pandas is in one line you can do what you need to do normally by many lines. So finding the average, this is what I want you to know. You can find the average using mean. Mean is the average, yeah? And you studying statistics, and this is something you will study. There is something called maximum. Max will give you the maximum. The minimum, if you want the minimum, min. Okay, minimum is 0. And there's something called describe, which will do all of it for you. It will find you describe. It will find you the minimum, the maximum, the count. So describe gives you everything for any column. So this one telling you the count, there is 140 rows. The average, you can call it 119. The standard deviation, 163. The minimum, don't tell me this is waste of time, standard deviations, and these are all the important things that you need to know. And easily with one line you are able to do it. If without Pandas, it will take you really time to do that one. Just one line, you can find the average, the maximum, the minimum, the standard deviation, the distribution of your data. Just one line gives you all this power, and this is something you will need in your life. in the future. If what, regardless, tell me, you're in business, you need to find the maximum, minimum, and average of your sales and the distribution and standard deviation. You need that. If you are applied media, my best friends, you will need that, because you do marketing and you will have contracts, and most of you will do creative work where you need really to get well with that. Otherwise, you will be doing great work and people take the money from you and do something else. So you have to be able to generate business and help yourself and others. Okay, great. Let me go back to your questions. I'm very happy. I can see there's some question on YouTube on ascending, descending. I'll do that. If I don't do it, remind me again, please. But let me go through these questions which stand waiting for a long time. How I use for loop when the user, I did that one. I think we did number of examples on that, which very good. And then can you give us example for loop? I did, and I spent time on for loop. Good evening, thank you for that. Good evening, sir, please. Can you help us in if statement ascending and descending? Plus for loop. Okay, for loop I did. I will, if statement I did looking at this maximum and minimum. But I think ascending, descending, it's easier. We can do it in Pandas. But if you want to do it in if statement, I'll do, but I don't want to lose student once I do that. I want you to stay, but I'll do that for sure. But I will show you in Pandas how we do it. Why always the data change? We already answered that questions. We need more case studies to solve for unit 2. We'll do some, but I think the one you had is good, but we can do more case studies. You have a project to do, and the project is similar to in case studies. It's a case study. In the question, they will ask us to skip the row. We must, I don't know. But look at it, skip the row is easy. You need skip the row. Where is that one? We have example. This document, Shabab, those who just came now, this one has everything. Step by step, very clear. And if you follow it, you will find it easy. And then you need to do your practical and do more. There is skip rows there. Just only skip rows equal something. You might be asked for that one. How? But you should know it. If you ask or not ask, you should know it. Tomorrow I have an exam. Good luck. We did so many examples on loop if statement, but if you want, I can go back. How can we make the rows ascending or descending? This is good now, because this question keeps coming, and I will answer it for our best student, Khalid. I think, no, Khalid or someone else. Sorry if I am miss, MA. Okay, let's go back here and let's do this. Let's now sort this data by emirate, EN, okay? And we want it ascending, like Abu Dhabi, Al Ain, those comes first, yeah? And then like that, yeah? Let's do it this way. So we need to sort the data this way. So we have our data frame called cars, and let me jump here down. This is cars. So I want to sort cars using Emirate English, or later we'll do the Arabic. Honestly, I'm not sure how it will come in the Arabic, but we'll test it. That's one thing we can explore together. And then do it ascending, and then do it descending. And also work with something called in place, which again, that document has the details. Now, cars dot sort values. Now, this is the function. Sort values. This is the secret. Sort underscore values. And then here you have the column that you want to use for sorting. and in our case is, I think, Emirate EN. This is the one, yeah. That's the one. Copy. Yeah, it's correct. But I just want to. Okay. Now, so you sort data using now. How are you going to sort it? Ascending or descending? So comes here the comma. The property is ascending, or the keyword is ascending, equal. By default, it is true. But if you want it to be descending, you say false. If you say ascending equal false, then it will sort it descending. Yeah? If you say true, it will sort it ascending. Okay? So let's say false first. We want descending. Yeah? Descending means those with S, maybe Sharjah, I think, will come first. We'll see what will come. Now we did run it. See now, Al-Quwain came first. Yes, Al-Quwain came first. So the data, whole data sorted, having Al-Quwain first, then Sharjah, then see, you look, I'm looking at this column, yeah? This column, see, all data sorted. Here it's different, yeah? It's different. So now it's all done like that, you see? So sorted from the highest to the lowest, yeah, in terms of alphabetical number. But there's one issue with this one, this line. If I go down here and have another cell and come and say cars, okay, and do that, if you look at the data coming down here, it's back as to the original. It's not sorted descending. It's not sorted descending. Although I did sort it here and came right descending, came. But when I tried to call cars again, it gave me the original data. So why that? Why? Because I didn't say change the original data. I said sort it and show me the data. But I didn't say change the original data. So if I want to change the original data, comes here another keyword. So we have a keyword called ascending, equal false. Now another keyword called in place. One word, equal true. This in place equal true means change the original data. So anytime now you call for it, you will get the new data which sorted descending. So if I do this like this, it's done. And if I come here and run the data, I'll find the data always now became descending based on the emirate. So that ascending and descending. By default, true. Yeah? I want it to be descending, I'll put false. So if I put true here and run this again and come and run this, I'll find now it's ascending. Sorted by that. And you notice now all Abu Dhabi data is on together and all Ajman data together and so on. Before it was a mix, Abu Dhabi, then Dubai, then, but when I sorted it, all of them sorted in a way that Abu Dhabi became together and then Ajman and so on. And one other thing you need to notice, this number did not change. See, although this is the first row, it is 70. Why it is 70? Because on the original data, it was on index 70. The index never change. When you sort the data or you do whatever you want to do the data, it will never change. You can think about it like your ID, your HCT or student ID. If you sit in any room or go anywhere or go home or go to the mall, your Hex city ID will not change. And this is the same. The index doesn't change unless you change it, force it to change. But because you sorted data or you group data, it will not change. It will change only when you force to change it. So you want to change your city ID, you go to the student services, academic services. They have a process and they will find if they can change your ID or they cannot. Same, and I don't think they will change it for you even if you do that. But in programming, of course, you can change the index. But it will not change by just doing sorting or grouping. Okay, so that's sorting, and I hope the ascending, descending is now clear. Okay, I'm not sure how many of you, but I can see some active people there, which very good. Right. Now I want to do one before we conclude, is the group. Yeah, I love the group by. Group is very good. See now why I want to do that group. If I want to calculate the total number of accidents in 2001 in Abu Dhabi, and then 2002 in Abu Dhabi, and so on. So I want this one. With one line of code, we will do that. And we will get beautiful results of that. Just one line. Okay, so let's add another line here. I'm putting it just down here so it becomes easy for me to see the so many. Okay, get this one here. Here is the line. Now I want to group the data by year and emirate. Okay, cars dot group by. Someone will ask me why it is always car. Not always, we decided. So we're grouping it now by year, okay, and it's not going to work as it is, but we'll fix it. Emirate, comma, emirate, like this. Okay. Now, when you have more than one column, this is a message I want you to remember. You need a bracket here. You need to put them between bracket, like this. Okay. So now we need to group it by year, by emirate, and we need to calculate the sum. Please wait, look at this, how beautiful it is, and how great this line, which is saying I'm grouping data by year and by emirate, and I need the sum. See how it will come. Just do that, and let's see our data. See how beautiful data came. In 2001, Abu Dhabi, their total number of accidents was this. Ajman, this. Dubai, this. And then so on. And then 2002, Abu Dhabi, this. Please tell me, is this not useful? You will not have something like this in your life to deal with? You will. You will have many things in your work dealing with data like this. And just with one line of 100, there's 140 line of data. With one line, we produce data that's very clear. You can look at it, you understand now how many accidents total in Abu Dhabi on that year, how many in Ajman, how many in every place, and so on. Just with one line of code, and summarize this one for you. You look at it, you do that. So the group by is a very powerful, but let me explain it again. You need to apply group by to a data. Yeah, you cannot come say group by like this. This is one maybe of the mistake. Group by for what? Which data you want to group? You need to specify your data. Say this is my data, which cars. Okay. Then what are the columns that I want to group? See, there are two. One is a year. I want it by year, and then I want it by the emirate. Now I may come with another group by. Let's take this one. Okay, we run this one, it's fine. Maybe I want to have the emirate first and then the year next. And let's see how that will be different from the above data. And this is something that you need to yourself ask yourself this question. If I change this, what will happen? Huh? And that's the way to explore new knowledge, new things, okay? Now, we did that now. See now how it is? Each emirate has both data for first year and second year and the total of each year. So now look at this here. This one, the year is there and then all emirates. And then the second year and all emirates. But here for each emirate, the first year, the second year, first year, and you go like that. And that's how it works. This is how powerful is the group by. I'm not sure if you are still there or you disappeared. I can see 8 of you there. That's very good. So was that clear, group by? Okay. Have any other questions before we go? Let's look. Can we make okay, I did this one. I'm going here. Sometime when I write the code and click run, it didn't work and there is a star near the end. Yes. Okay. You mean here, yeah? N, yeah. Now you need to wait for that star. Now see, I have so many things here. If I go and run everything, basically how it works, it starts from here and then goes here and goes there. First step, it will read data. It will not run this one unless data already read and clear, yeah? So if I run all, I see if run all will work because I complicated. See now it's, where are they? Yeah, this data is small. If you have a large data, you will have that situation. When you have a large data, it need to finish this one first. This cell need to run completely. And this takes more time if the data is huge because it does it once. Okay? And then you go and the next one will be executed. This one will not run if data is still reading. Once data completed, it will run this one and so on. That's why sometimes you get that issue. Or sometimes the server is hang or there's an issue, and one way to do it, you click on this one here. This will stop all the processes and then you can start running data again. That could happen sometime, but not that much. It will happen. Okay, there are still 11 questions. I want to go, but I don't want to leave you. Please answer for question unit 1. I did answer loop and if statement and functions many times, and I hope it's clear. If you look at the recording, you'll find it. I did it multiple of times. I am just worried that some of you will just, if I do it, you will disappear because you heard it many times. But if one more questions are like this, I'll do a loop again. Please answer the question for. Okay, will do. Do you still, and YouTube right there, do you still wanted me to explain for loop and if statement? Tell me exactly what you want. Why this course need final or no need? No, it needs. Thank you. Explain the group by. I just did, I think. And if it's clear, write down to me, write again, say it's now clear. So I want to get feedback from you guys. I need user the input. I did that. I need the user to input the number for loop. I did that. Isn't it? I will. والله بصحيح ولا سؤال جاوبت عليه من أسئلتي. آسف والله. I think I did answer all questions. Ask me again once in Arabic now because I can know it's you. And then maybe I'll answer. I'm sorry for that. I will answer if you ask me a question again. I try to answer all questions. I think I did answer, but sometimes some of you comes late, which I already explained, and they ask the same question which we did explain. No worries, we'll repeat. What's the website solution for Pandas you just showed? This one? Oh, that's a good question. You can take this one, yeah. You can go here, you'll find it. This is the URL. I'll post it there, but if you want, you can keep it there. Maybe I can, if I open YouTube, maybe I can post it. What's the website for the Pandas solution? That's the website. Did you copy it? Take a photo by phone and you'll find what that website. Be creative, guys. Use technology. You just use it for something different, but use it for other things. Yeah, I know some of you already did that. Okay, thank you. What is the website? Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, I need user input for loop. I'll do it. I just thank you, sir. You really are okay. Thank you. That's my job. I have to do that. Shabab, you are very important for the country, for the nation, for yourself, for your family. I don't know what I can say. Again, it's age. I have seen students who were struggling and finding difficulties. And then when they just said, okay, now it's time to do something about my life, they did and became successful. I see them now at work and they became seniors and they are different. And you are important to us. So please learn and spend your time on something useful. Sir, why some of us use open book and others? This should be no open book. You should get the code. The sheet that has the code, you will receive it from the teacher and the teacher should give you that one. What do you mean by the website? I want to go to the for loop now. What do you mean by the website? What do you mean? You mean the BBLearn. Do you mean BBLearn? I'm sorry if I didn't understand you. Do you mean BBLearn as Blackboard Learn? This is the Blackboard Learn. It has our course. This is our course. Is this first time you hear about this course? I will be shocked if you know that. If you go to Blackboard, I don't think you mean that. You go there. This is the course where we have all the videos, the materials, the PowerPoint, everything is here. And the unit 2 is here. Unit 2, and for everyone it's divided into different things. So unit 2, introduction of the process, then reading data, then working with columns. Then each one has its own folder where you have the video, you have the teaching material, you have the PowerPoint, you have the exercises, you have everything. And here, this is the course material, which if you download it, you'll get this one, which I kept saying since the morning, which has this document, has all the examples, all the code explained, linked to the videos, and things, all these nice things, which you can just go through and do. So it is there. I hope I answered your questions. I'm just not happy that not the Azure. Okay, clear. ICT book I meant. That's the one. That's the ICT book is here on BBLearn. Go mylearn.act.ic.ie. You click on this one. You get into this. You log in. I already log in. You'll find ICT 2013. You click on it. You'll find the whole material, unit 1, divided into number of units with videos, week 1, week 2, week 3, all the weeks and everything is there. And you click on any of the unit, you will find the book here for unit 2, which has all the examples. So this you should be familiar with. Okay, very good, thank you. Yes, that's it, very good, alhamdulillah. Okay, there are still 8 of you. Let me get water and then we'll do for loop and if statement, unless you come with more questions. But you need to practice. Sorry. Okay, no more questions. I can see no more questions, so maybe you need to go and sleep. Or you want me to do the for loop? For loop. Let's play with the for loop. Okay, we are here and it's 12 already. But let's do something with the for loop. Okay, let's come down here, lift this whole thing, and the for loop are, the sum of, you just said that, and it seems the same story here. Okay. Anyway, let me close this one, leave it, and go back. Which one I was? Car accident. Okay, let's do that. The for loops are powerful tools, but in Pandas you don't need the for loop because Pandas, it has its own functions that simplify everything, makes everything easy. So let's delete this one and show you a number of things you can do with the for loop. So I say for, asking usually, say n input, enter a number. Now again I called it n. Now remember I used to do this, and then say n equal and n. That was fine. Now let me do it different. I don't want this line. I want to put that end here. Trust me, it's the same, so you don't need to be worried. It's the same thing. So instead of 2 lines, we have only 1 line we need to do. Now we need the for loop for I in range of n. Okay, like that, and say print n. Now one thing you need to remember, in Jupyter we don't need a bracket like this, so we can just we can say n. Here it doesn't work, you need a bracket. Okay, now let's run this one. Even in my case it's taking ages to run now because there's something on the server. Seem to be still running something. It's running something. Stop it. Okay. Run all. Okay. Still taking time to run. Now because someone said that it happened to him, now it's happening here. It's taking ages to run. So we'll close this one and leave it there, and let's do one, call it for loop. Okay, and do for loop and just make this specific for loop. And let's say now again n and input enter a number. Okay, that's one there, and then for I in range of n and print n. Just this is a simple thing. So this is basically a for loop that requires the user to input a number and then print those numbers. Okay, so the number say will enter 10. What we will get? Okay, now I made a mistake, a logical mistake here, but I'll explain it. Let's say that, let's say 10. Okay, so now what we received when I put 10, this will help you understand the things. Now 4I in range of n, okay, means n is 10, so this is 10. Now it printed first 1I is 0, and then 1, 2, 3, and it did not display 10 because it doesn't display this number, display -1 of the number. So if I wanted to start by 1, so I can say I say 1 comma n. So if I run this one and put 10 now, I'll get 1, 2, 9. 1, 2, 9. So 10 is not included. If I want 10 to be included, I can basically plus 1 add here. So n plus 1. So if I enter 10, it will use 11. So 11 will produce 10. So I do that, run 10, and that's what I'm getting now, 1 to 10. Now you just run it and play with it. You will see how it works. Yeah, you just run it by 9. It will by 10. You will find it's not producing 10. So what I need to do? I need to add 1. So you come here and add 1. Yeah. So that's the way with input from the user. Now there are questions here, which what's the website done? No, this check. Thanks, Ahmed. Okay, thanks, Ahmed. Midterm. Okay, good luck with the midterm. I didn't understand, but good luck. I have a midterm. Good luck with the midterm. At what time? I don't know. You need to ask your teacher. Good. Okay, done. So I think we are done.